Hi, what's up, everyone? My name is Enoke Mutarimo. I'm from Tanzania, and I'm studying international business and marketing at Taylor's University. Come along with me in this vlog so that we can discuss on on how different facts and evidence that apply on the marketing theory concepts that can be learned in order to solve different ethical issues. Well, me and my group member, we decided to choose environmental issues, how these environmental issues affect marketing strategies. Okay, getting deep into it, what is environment? Environment, in general, environment is everything around us. Environment, this includes everything. This can either be natural features or artificial features. When we talk of natural features, we talk of things which are not man-made, and when we talk of artificial features, we talk of man-made things. Man-made things, this can either be buildings, can be like phones, clothes, and other things. While natural features, this can either be mountains, lakes, seas, and other things, and vegetation and others. Okay, let me go deep into it. We're going to talk about air pollution. What is air pollution? Air pollution, this is an introduction of harmful substances into the air. This can either be carbon, chlorofluorocarbons, carbon dioxide, and other toxic chemicals that impurifies the air. This can create warmer air, can create the air to become very warm and make it lose its purity, makes it miss its purity. Okay, a good example, you can say Malaysia. In Malaysia, the total number of people that are owning cars, like one car per person, is very huge. So this makes introduction of carbon dioxide from the air a lot. Thus, it purifies the air in Malaysia. That's why the air in Malaysia is not so cool. It's humid. This is because of the huge number of cars that's around in Malaysia. Also, we can have good examples such as burning of Indonesian forests in order to cultivate palm oils. We know that in Indonesia, they are specifically doing deforestation in order to increase crop cultivation of palm oil. Now this causes air pollution, because we know that plants provide oxygen and carbon dioxide to human beings. That purifies the air. So if we cut down trees, there won't be enough sufficient air for people living in this planet. Okay, another point is global warming. Global warming, this is a long-term heating of Earth's climatic system. And when we talk of long-term heating of the Earth, this means like persistent increase in temperature. Persistent increase in temperature. Good example of this can either be like whereby in Malaysia temperature changes and ranges from 0.7 degrees centigrade to 2.6 degrees centigrade. And also the precipitation level in Malaysia always changes from negative 30% to positive 30%. This increase in temperature and a huge negative has a huge impact on human habits. And this can either be like agriculture in forest, what we call water resources and residential sources, healthy, and other energy sector.
Alright, today we'll be discussing how innovation can solve certain environmental issues whilst I go for a drive around my taman. So as we said before about air pollution, one of the leading causes of it is because of the high car ownership. When there are many people owning cars, that generally means that the production of CO2 because of the internal combustion engine is much higher than normal. So we look back from data from the 1950s, not many people owned cars back then. So the issues of air pollution was not really one which took into consideration. As such, you can actually see in the 1970s when America had a very bad crisis about air pollution, they implemented certain acts to help reduce these pollutions, and a lot of car manufacturers had to step up and reduce the amount of pollution that cars produce. So an innovation standpoint from this would be if these manufacturers move to produce more alternately powered vehicles. So things like electric cars or hydrogen powered vehicles would be a good stepping point. because electric cars and hydrogen powered vehicles, they don't actually produce any carbon dioxide nor carbon monoxide. Matter of fact, for hydrogen powered vehicles, they produce water as their byproduct, which is good, just generally. And as for electric cars, well, they're electric cars. They don't produce anything. They're electric. So that's a yay for the environment. Now moving on to the global warming point. So the same innovations as we stated before can really be reused here. So things like electric cars and hydrogen powered vehicles, they can be applied to this point as well, and this can help the environment generally. And by the way, when I say global warming, what I'm talking about is the general rise in the temperature of Earth. But there are certain issues with this as well. The main two issues would be taking into consideration of how a car is being produced and how electricity is sourced. So when we talk about how a car is being produced, the raw materials have to be mined from somewhere. And when we say somewhere, we're talking about places such as mines, which means you're mining for the steel, the aluminum, and just general raw materials to use. And in terms of electric cars, it's even worse because you have to mine for the batteries as well, which is just so bad for the environment in the long term. Matter of fact, it doesn't even offset driving an electric car in the long term as much as you would just drive an older car. Now, that's the first issue, but that encompasses all vehicles, so electric cars are not the main one here. Now, the second problem, which encompasses electric cars, and this is solely focused on electric cars only, is that the electricity source to charge those vehicles might not be renewable sources. When I say renewable sources, I mean places like solar, hydro dams, or any other reusable electrical sources. Rather, they source the electricity from places such as nuclear power plants, which produce, nuclear waste, which is bad for the environment and everybody. And you also get it from coal power plants, which is just terrible because when you have to burn coal, it produces so much carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide that driving an electric car doesn't offset that. Not only that, it's actually just bad for the environment overall unless you're planning to drive your electric car for the rest of your life. But the other issue is that an electric car uses batteries, and as we all know, batteries degrade over time. However, Volkswagen, I know you can't see it, but my shirt says Volkswagen, has actually produced the world's very first carbon neutral car. So this is a very good innovation or stepping point for the entire automotive industry. When I say carbon neutral car, I mean that the entire production process is 100% green. So it means you use green energy to produce the car. The resources used to get all the raw materials are from renewable sources. It's all recycled. Nothing is from new. So this stepping stone, this innovation by Volkswagen can push other manufacturers, matter of fact, even teach them how to become more ecologically sound, which is good for the environment. So, hey, innovation. And that's all for my presentation, and I hope for the video. Stay safe, everybody. Let's get rid of COVID-19 because I don't like staying at home the whole time. Cheers!